During a time of immense change and transition, one of the world's most enigmatic and contentious rulers were born. Vlad III, Dracula, son of Vlad II Dracul, and later known as Vlad Zhepesh, or the Impaler. Vlad was born in the Transylvanian city of Zhigishara, likely near the end of the year 1431. While currently located in Transylvania, due to his father's designation as military governor of the region, Dracula was in fact a future candidate for the position of voivode of Wallachia. According to Wallachian tradition, any son of a previous voivode was eligible to fill the role, and given that young Dracula was the legitimate son of a later two-time holder of the title, it comes as no surprise that his focus seldom strayed from the throne. Supplementarily, Dracula's grandfather, Mircea cel Bătrân, was and is considered one of the most monumental rulers of Wallachia in his era. This ancestry and birthright meant that Vlad Dracula was inevitably going to become part of a bitter and bloody feud between the two warring lines of the House of Basarab, the Daneshti and the Draculeshti. Before he could be a proper contender to the Wallachian throne, Vlad Dracula was raised by the woman of his household in Zhigishara. Like any young boy of his prestige, he would have been taught all the basic necessities of princehood, such as their native language, basic manners, correct dress code, and of course, the idea that he was superior to other men and destined for sovereign greatness. The boys would have also spent a substantial amount of time maintaining their physical fitness, starting at a young age, and being held to somewhat Spartanistic standards when not learning, training, or likely messing around as children do in their free time. Vlad would have also attended church with the rest of his family. His parents, at this time, were Catholic, but it is possible that Dracula and his youngest brother Radu were baptized in an Orthodox church. This, of course, would be significant, given the importance of the Orthodox faith to the Wallachian leadership. The boys likely attended Catholic Mass on a regular basis while living in Transylvania. After a support change by Emperor Sigismund, Vlad Dracul was finally able to secure his place as voivode of Wallachia, moving the family's home to the capital city of Targoviste by the start of 1437. Here, Dracula's life would have begun to change, as he now required to learn more lessons of maturity and adulthood. By this point, the young future prince would have much less time for childish antics, and instead would be expected to begin practicing things such as horsemanship, swimming, the use of a variety of weapons and combat techniques, and formal education in the topics of world history, language, and politics. Also, during this time, Vlad Dracul submitted to Sultan Murad II of the Ottoman Empire, creating an alliance with the Turks which lasted only a few short years. The consequences of this union being ended came in 1442 when Vlad Dracul, accompanied by his two youngest sons, Vlad and Radu, accepted an invitation from Sultan Murad to have a meeting with him in his court. Immediately upon arrival, Vlad Dracul was arrested and chained, and his sons taken away to Egrigos fortress. While Vlad Dracul would only spend a year in Ottoman custody, he agreed to leave his sons in the hands of the Sultan as part of an extensive agreement to secure his freedom and return to Wallachia, sworn on both the Quran and the Bible. Vlad, around 11 years old at this point, and Radu, roughly 7 years of age, were now alone in a foreign country around people whose language they could not speak nor understand. While specific details and timeframes are not clear, we do know that the brothers were initially kept hostage in Egrigos, before later being moved to Tokat and then Adrianople, at which point they would have been brought on trips to other palaces, such as that in Manisa, alongside the Sultan's court. Even as hostages, Vlad and Radu's education would have continued, as one of the Sultan's goals would have been to create a trusted future with Wallachian voivodes who would be loyal to the Ottomans. The treatment remained fair, as long as the boy's father stayed true to his agreement. Vlad was known to have been more of a challenging child and teen than his younger sibling. Uncooperative and short-tempered at times, it was not unusual for punishment methods such as the whip to be used in an attempt to tame the young Dracula. In contrast, and likely what sparked the lifelong hatred between the brothers, Radu was recognized as a more agreeable protege and quickly attracted the attention of both men and women with his exceptional beauty. One of the most notable admirers of Vlad's child brother was the soon-to-be Sultan and son of Murad II, Mehmed II, the future conqueror of Byzantium. Despite essentially growing up together, Vlad and Mehmed would never spark enough of a friendship to prevent the bloody contention they would later spend their adult lives engaging in. On top of Vlad's unwillingness to fall in line and his new Turkish peers, his father was also beginning to stir the pot back in Wallachia. Having previously only sent a minute contingent under his eldest legitimate son Mircea to support the Crusaders of the 1443 long campaign, Vlad Dracul was now creeping dangerously close to breaking his promises he made to Sultan Murad. Fortunately, after meeting with the Governor-General of Transylvania John Hunyadi and seeing the small number of Christian forces, Vlad Dracul opted to once again send no more than a small contingent to assist in the future crusading. As he was still taking a neutral stance himself, he so far had not severely violated his agreement with the Turks, but was still leaving his sons in precarious conditions. Mircea, however, according to Michael Beham, who